Hello, welcome everyone. It is FMC. I am Jeremy. That is SP3. It is Tuesday, November 26th, and happy Thanksgiving to you if you celebrate Thanksgiving here in America or anywhere else around the world. I don't know if I guess Canada has it in they have it in July or something. They're weird.
That's
Those
very
Canadians.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
Canadians
if
are pretty weird.
I don't know if they celebrate Thanksgiving like England. I don't feel like that's a thing there.
Not really. I mean, there is some people like when I think I was only there one time for Thanksgiving, and we did do like the turkey and everything, but it's not regularly celebrated over there by a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well, what can you do? We do celebrate Thanksgiving here, of course, and we celebrate Thanksgiving usually by watching football and even more football this year because there's football on Friday because they're doing Black Friday game
Shoof.
now. I'm for it. Like the more sports that are on that can keep me entertained throughout the day, I'm all
To
for
be
it.
fair, to be fair, all sports is good. The NFL is just taking over every holiday. They even are doing, I think, a couple of Christmas games.
Oh
They got
yeah,
the
they got some big
whole
Chris.
Netflix.
They got Beyonce for Christmas, man.
I was like, what are we doing? Like, well, yeah, y'all can't give NBA. NBA has had Christmas on lock for the better part of my lifetime, and now the NFL just want to say, you know what? We're the number one sport. We already knew that. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do this to prove that. You already are number one. Why do you need to take over a holiday that another sport had? That's like the NFL just saying, you know what? We're doing a whole bunch of we're doing all week games during the World Series. Like that's what this is like. Come on.
Look, man, the NFL, they're getting paid a lot of money from a lot of different streaming platforms. And so they're like, yeah, sure. You want us to stream on Christmas? We will stream on Christmas. Whatever you want to do. The money's gonna roll in. They're gonna they're gonna have their games. I mean, the NBA, maybe their Christmas schedule should be a little bit better instead of some of the trash teams they put on for this schedule.
Well, I haven't looked at the Christmas games in a while. What is this year like?
I don't actually think they're that bad. I'm being a
Yeah,
little
yeah. Look at this guy.
well, okay, you know what? They are bad. You know what? Here's why they're bad. You muted yourself, by the way. I did not mute you. You muted yourself. Spurs and Knicks, because they want the Wemby effect. So Spurs and Knicks, Timberwolves and Mavs. The Mavs aren't good right now. I think by Christmas they'll be okay. The Timberwolves are kind of a mess right now. The Warriors and Lakers, both those teams are good for the time being. Warriors have dropped like 3 out of 4 after we praised them last week, so we jinxed them into being a bad team. Nuggets and
Lakers lost two
Suns.
straight. Like
Yeah.
we get all the people that we praised last week did not have a good week this week.
Nuggets and Suns, like, all right, that's fine, sure. The Suns are getting healthy. The Nuggets just got stomped by the Knicks, but it happens. And then let's go ahead and get into our main topic. The Boston Celtics, not them, and the Philadelphia 76ers is the other Christmas Day game. We won't focus on Christmas. It's still a month away. It's still time to turn things around for some of these teams. Ryan says no Sixers talk today. Ryan, you see the thumbnail. This is what we're talking about. We are talking about the Philadelphia 76ers because that team is way worse than I think anybody thought they were going to be. You had them before the Towns trade second SP3. After the Towns trade, you admitted, okay, maybe the Knicks have overtaken them, but you still had them third. Like I had them pretty high. I thought, yeah, sure, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, that's gonna be a fine team. That team's a disaster. Not only can they not get on the court together, but now they got team meetings. And not only do they have team meetings, like every team has team meetings. It happens, right? Like there was last year, the Bulls had a team meeting after the first game of the season when the Thunder stomped them. And so they had a team meeting. And now they've got the Sixers doing a team meeting, but it's not only the team meeting, they're mad about the information that is getting out in the team meeting.
Well, I gotta agree with that. Since we're on a wrestling channel, I have to get my one obscure wrestling reference. But it's kind of like the whole AEW and the state of AEW where they're at now a lot of that we kind of were told a whole bunch of stuff that happened backstage, and it's like, how do we know all of this? How do they have so many leaks? Like that was an issue to a lot of people. So I understand with this whole situation, it shouldn't have gotten out the way that it did. The fact that they have leaks is an issue. I think that some people are making it the bigger issue than what was actually said, but I think that they're equally issues. I think they're both issues that the Sixers have to deal with. They have to deal with their team chemistry and the fact that Joel Embiid is showing up late. He doesn't seem as committed as he was in the past. And then they have to deal with who the hell is leaking stuff. Who the hell is making us the media conversation when we don't need to be? We need to just go into obscurity or do what the Milwaukee Bucks did and try to recover from a horrible start to the season. I don't see that happening for these gentlemen because luckily for the Milwaukee Bucks, both of their stars are healthy for the most part. I mean, Dame has been in and out. Giannis has missed some games, but for the most part, they're healthy. It hasn't been, 6 minutes out of a possible 682 this season? The big three in the 76ers have played a total of 6 minutes together out of 16 games. That is preposterous. That's a third issue on top of the other two of the leak and what was said during the meeting. So they have a whole bunch of issues that they need to deal with. And I think that their issues are a lot bigger than the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks had an issue of a coach who doesn't know how to tie his shoe on certain days and stuff like that. I don't know what's his issue, but we know it's probably 9 times out of 10, it's probably the coaching. It's probably Giannis and Dame not being on the same page. With the Sixers, it's like, what's the issue of the day?
Here's the thing with the leaks. I don't know who leaked this information. Joel Embiid is going to put on his best investigative cap. He's going to get his little, what do you call those things?
Bifocal?
Nah, but magnifying glass. He's going to get his magnifying glass. He's going to get his pipe. He's going to go full Sherlock
Monocle?
Holmes. No, magnifying glass. I said it. I had it right.
Okay.
He's going to get his magnifying glass.
I thought you were talking about what the Penguin has.
Yeah, a little bit monocle, but no, I was thinking magnifying glass. He's going to get his magnifying glass. He's going to get his pipe. He's going to get his hat. He's going to get his cape. He's going to go full Joel Holmes over here. He's going to try to find who leaked this information. The leak isn't the issue to me. It is what was said in there. If Tyrese Maxey is calling out Joel Embiid for being late to practices, for not putting in the care and the effort that he should as a star player, as a franchise player, that's the real issue. Not who leaked this information. You want to know who leaked this information? I truthfully don't know. But you want to know who's not helping the situation? Is when a guy has a podcast and he's talking about this and he's confirming all of this. Paul George goes on his podcast and is like, yeah, all that happened. Yeah, it was word for word.
They got it word for word.
Like, yeah, they got it word for word. All of this happened.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from the hood and snitches get stitches. Like, that's why I think that these are equal. These are equally problems. You can't have stitches in your team. Team is like a gang. You can't have stitches in there.
Look, it's not good that people are leaking the information because it's a team meeting. And Paul George said, like, the people who needed to be there were there. It makes me believe it was players and maybe some of the top coaches. I don't think the ball boy was in this meeting and leaking the information or anything. So, yeah, it was a player or it was one of the coaches. Somebody who shouldn't be saying this stuff and should know better than to say this stuff, because what happens in those team meetings typically stays in those team meetings. But it got out. The fact that Paul George is on his podcast and being like, yeah, all this is true. Don't know how they got it word for word, but they got it all word for word. And I think the words are a little bit more of an issue here. Now that we know what was said, Joel Embiid's got to have a little bit of accountability to show up and put some care and some effort into this stuff. He can't stay
Yeah.
healthy. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to stay healthy. When he does play, I'm never going to be a fan of Embiid's style of play. Like he's a very good to great player. I don't like all the flopping and the grifting and all that stuff that he does. I can't deny his impact on the court. He's still the second best center in the league because there's not like a ton of great centers. But he can't stay healthy. Paul George, I said it last week. It's underreported how bad Paul George has been. He has been terrible. He's been their fourth best player. And they were hoping he'd be at least their third. But Jared McCain, thank God for him, because Jared McCain is a guy who's saving their season right now. And by saving their season, they have 3 wins. So it's not really doing anything. But at least
they avoid the bottom of the complete bottom of the East.
At least Jared McCain is giving them some like hope of like, oh man, Maxey and McCain, this is a nice backcourt for the future. Great. But you're trying to win now. You're not worried about your future. And you are, but your whole point was to win now. That's why you signed Paul George to a deal. That's a 4-year deal. He's going to be 38 when this deal is over. That deal ain't going to age very well if he's shooting 27% from 3 and averaging 15 points per game on what's supposed to be the best year of his deal. Paul George has not been good. I know he hasn't been healthy either, so that hasn't helped. But there's much like Embiid, there's no reason to think that he's going to be healthy. Paul George is a guy who just has a history of injuries, just like Embiid's a guy who has a history of injuries. Until they're there, until they're on the court, until they're playing consistently, this is kind of who they are.
Yeah, I think there's like nothing else to really say with the Sixers. They have a whole bunch of issues and problems, and the biggest one is Embiid's health. And even when he's on the court, he doesn't look good. He doesn't look like he's fully healthy. He's limping at times. He's walking around and he's wincing. Like, he does not look good. He needs more time away from the court to recover and get healthy. But it's like, how much time do the Sixers have? Without a healthy Paul George, without Tyrese Maxey every single game, like what do you expect? You're gonna get they're digging their hole so deep that they're not gonna be able to come out of it. I said that last week and I will repeat it again. This hole is just getting deeper and deeper, and all these issues outside of the court is just compounding to their issues on the court. So it's just like, it's issues upon issues. It's layers of shit on top of shit right now for the 76ers. But I still think the snitch is the biggest problem. I'm sorry, man. Can't be that means that this person, if it's a player or if it's a coach, that means that Joel Embiid has an op on this team. Because the only reason for a player or a coach to lay that out is because it makes Joel Embiid look bad. It didn't make Tyrese Maxey look bad. It actually made Tyrese Maxey look better. It made him look like a real leader that's calling out the other leader. It made Tyrese Maxey sound like Kobe Bryant to Shaquille O'Neal after the first championship. That's what Kobe was saying to Shaq. And these guys haven't even made it to a conference finals. So it makes Tyrese Maxey, it's either a very big Tyrese Maxey fan that's on the team, it's either Tyrese Maxey himself, or it's a big op of Joel Embiid.
I'll tell you who it is. It's Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid got history that years. Back when Drummond was on the Pistons, back when Embiid was always talking that trash of, he can't guard me. He always fouls me. Drummond always talking trash back. And now they're on the same team. And now Embiid is the guy who, look, he's the starter. He's better than Andre Drummond. But Andre Drummond can call him out in this way.
It's like, I'll get you one way. I'm going to get you one way or another.
That's right. It's Andre Drummond. That's my guess on here. That's my guess.
That's wild. That's wild because it does sound like this sounds like a very wise, well thought out theory.
Oh,
This is why I agree with it.
they were fake friends when Drummond was like, "Oh yeah, Embiid like convinced me to come to Philadelphia, and he wanted it would allow him to like rest and give a backup big who he knew he could trust and everything." That's not how Embiid really feels. That's not how Drummond really feels. You can't.
Long game.
Yeah, you can't go years where Embiid is like, "Oh yeah, Drummond doesn't play any defense. All he does is rebound. He doesn't do any. I kick his ass every time we play. He doesn't do anything." Drummond ain't forgot that. He hasn't forgot that. And now this was his shot. This was his shot.
Memory like a goldfish.
Get Embiid. That's my prediction. That's my pick on who leaked all this information. Andre Drummond.
That's a good theory. I can't argue with that. We'll move on from the Sixers because Ryan Sullivan is not having a good time.
Nick Nurse has got to do a better job as a coach, by the way. Everyone praised Nick Nurse he gets the most out of his team. Oh, Nick Nurse is so good. He coaches hard. His schemes are so good. You got to find a way to win some games here. You got to find a way to win some games. Some of this is on Nick Nurse.
Comes down to coaching. When you lose your star player and you have to get some wins for the team without your star player, that's where the good coaches are separated from the great coaches. And the reason a lot of the praise that Ty Lue gets is it's for the championship in Cleveland, but it's also for what he's done with the Clippers in the last couple of years, with losing Kawhi Leonard, losing Paul George at various times, and still making them at least a consistent playoff team over the last 5 years for the Los Angeles Clippers. It shows how great of a coach Ty Lue is. So I'm hoping Nick Nurse can show us that he's not just a one-hit wonder, that he's not just white Doc Rivers, one championship that he's going to live off of for the rest of his career.
Oh, I don't care if he is a one-hit wonder. I don't care about Nick Nurse's future. Best of luck to him. Best of luck.
Well, damn, this guy's mean.
Nick Nurse is fine, but not like the biggest Nick Nurse fan.
Can't be a one-hit wonder, man, out here in these streets. Feel bad for these 76ers. I don't.
Why? No, you don't.
I said I don't.
You don't feel bad for the Sixers.
But I am hoping they get it together. They can They can turn this around.
Why?
Because then my Embiid better than Jokic comments from 2 years ago.
That aged like milk, buddy. That aged like.
Hey, it was accurate when I said it.
It was not accurate when you said it.
I did not say in the future he will. I said right there, right then, when I said it, he was.
At no point in his career has Joel Embiid been better than Nikola Jokic. At no point.
Hating on Embiid.
At no point in the future will Joel Embiid be better than Nikola Jokic.
Poor Embiid being picked on while he's down by you.
Embiid's good. Embiid's very good. He wasn't the MVP. They gave him the MVP because Jokic had already won it. And now Jokic is still going to win it because they can't give it to anybody else. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league. And it's not close. I don't think it's close.
Okay. That's your opinion.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Who's the best player in the league?
Not Nikola Jokic.
Then who? You got to give me a name. You can't just say not Nikola Jokic.
Not Nikola Jokic. That's the best player in the league. LeBron James.
LeBron, the fact that he's still playing at this level is amazing. He's not better than Jokic.
LeBron James.
There's not a single player in the league better than Jokic.
I'll take Anthony Davis over Nikola Jokic.
You're gonna stand on that hill after what just happened between those two. After what happens every single time those two play.
It does. It never is a good time whenever we play the Denver Nuggets. No matter how good I think my team is, when we face the Denver Nuggets, it's never a good time. And I was gonna watch this game, and then I saw like after like the second quarter what the score was, and I was just like, nope, not gonna do
It was
this. So
close at the half. The Lakers, I think,
yeah,
were up at the half.
yeah, but I was like, that's what made me not watch. I was like, yep, the Lakers are up. I was like, I know how this goes. I was like, we're always up at the half. We're always up after three quarters against the Denver Nuggets, and then the Denver Nuggets always seem to win. So I already know what's gonna happen, and it happened again. It doesn't fail every single time. And yes, it was Anthony Davis' worst game of the season. So yeah, it wasn't worth my time to watch.
It's funny how he always has his worst game of the season against Nikola Jokic.
He has to focus too much on defense, and then that doesn't go well either.
How you feeling as a Lakers fan? Because it seemed like it was another kind of up and down week.
No, it was a down week.
Was it
Two
down?
straight
Okay.
losses. Yeah, the loss to the Denver Nuggets never is gonna leave. Never gonna have a good taste in our mouth. That's like our main rival over the last couple of seasons. We're not
That's
their
not a
rival.
rivalry.
They're my no. That see you wanted to interrupt me to get your little snap in, but I already explained it. I said they are our main rival. We are not their main rival. We're not their rival at all. They are our rival because we can't seem to beat them like at all. But yeah, that loss as well as the very close loss against the Magic, man, that had me kind of depressed. I was like, man, Fox Wagner.
Yeah, Franz
Oh,
Wagner. What a shot.
man, what a shot. That was like 20, 28, 29 feet out. Ah, man, that was
It wasn't a great shot. Like,
no,
on the whole, like it went in, so like
it
it
was a
looks like
step
a
back.
good shot.
Step back three. It looked pretty, but not the best shot at that time.
Yeah, it's not a shot like if you're drawing up the scenario, you're not drawing up like, yeah, let's take a step back 30-footer. That's not a great shot. It went in, so it turns into a good shot. But in the words of the infamous words of Paul George, who's never been wrong about anything, that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot.
That's a bad shot. But yeah, that loss was a heartbreaker, and then the blowout loss to the Nuggets. I would say it was a down week this week, despite us getting the win against the Jazz last Tuesday. That was our only win of the week. When we faced the tough teams, we lost. So we got another tough week ahead. We got the Suns, we got the Spurs, we got the Thunder. If we can go 2-1 at least, or 3-0, maybe we'll get our sermon next week on FMC.
3-0 feels a little greedy. Little greedy.
Yeah, that's why I said 2-1 first.
2-1. Yeah. 2-1 seems reasonable. I'm looking forward to the matchup against the Lakers for OKC. No Chet, but Hartenstein's back, and he looks just as good as advertised. Finally got someone who can rebound the ball, good playmaker, scores well. Like the first game against Portland, is clearly the rhythm and the timing was off. Last night we blew out the Kings, as you should. Kings aren't great, so you should beat a bad team like the Kings. But yeah, Hartenstein's a big
people
factor.
were really arguing with me that the Kings were going to be better than the Lakers this season. It was just like, I don't know why y'all think the Kings got better from the last couple of seasons.
They got DeMar DeRozan. Their offense is good.
Yeah.
They don't play. They don't have anybody to play defense.
Yeah, they haven't played defense. They needed someone to help them on defense.
Yeah, they don't play any defense.
So but here we are. Here we are with the Kings. But yeah, good win for the Thunder. I'm glad they got Hartenstein back. We were talking about that their team was kind of incomplete after Chet went down and Hartenstein was still out. So I'm glad he's back. What are we, like a month away from Chet coming back?
No, 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm thinking February at the earliest. Like I think they're hoping for maybe January. I'm hoping like trade deadline All-Star break. That's my optimistic side. My real optimistic side is it's like April, but yeah, my optimistic side is trade deadline All-Star break because they fall within a week of each other. So that's where I'm thinking it might be. If it's before that, great. If it's after that, I wouldn't be shocked at that either.
We shall see. We shall see. Things got better in the East. We now have 4 teams above 500 and 5 teams at 500 or better. What a week! What a week for the Eastern Conference. The Bucks are on the way. Bucks have really turned it around in regards to how they started the season. They've been beating the teams that they should be beating for the most part. So I've been liking what I've been seeing from the Bucks. So yeah, they're kind of getting it together. Where we're gonna make Jeremy look crazy for saying that the Bucks weren't gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's why it's hottest takes, right?
Yeah,
throw stuff out there. Yeah. I'm
Hey,
not backtracking on my hottest takes. That's for sure.
don't worry. I wanted to backtrack on my Houston Rockets one, even though they're looking good. But
yeah, they're fine.
They're looking
fine.
good.
Yeah,
They're looking good. They're number 3 in the West. West is always interesting. I said it last week. I'll say it here. We're just gonna always see like the middle portion of the teams are always going to be shifting around. I think the top half of the West will be steady for a little while with Thunder, Warriors, Rockets, Lakers in the mix.
I don't know. Like the Warriors, they've slipped these past few games. Like it seems like they've kind of crashed back down. Yeah, they've kind of crashed back down. Their defense, the defense that I praised last week is now fallen off these past few games. They've been blowing big leads. They gave up 128 points to Brooklyn. They only scored 94 against San Antonio. But giving up 128 to Brooklyn, who was on a back-to-back, that's not the best league. They've been blowing big leads. They blew like back-to-back 17-point leads. Can't happen against not great teams. Like San Antonio is probably playing better than I think most people expected them to. But Brooklyn, I mean, they're definitely playing better than most people expect them to. But they've also been on a losing streak until they came up against. They beat the Kings, and then they came back and they beat the Warriors. But they just lost to the Sixers. They lost a few before that. Like the Nets kind of crashed back down to earth, but the Suns got the Thunder tomorrow, and that's obviously a pretty big game. It seems like nothing ever goes well for OKC when they play the Warriors.
Is that our game of the week? We gave a game of the week last week. We got to continue the trend.
Yeah, the game of the week. Is it not the Thunder?
Cavs and Celtics.
Oh, okay. Is it not the Thunder and the Lakers? That has to be the game of the week for
us. Oh
yeah,
right? That should be the game of the week for us. Yeah.
Can't really go elsewhere with this.
We got to keep it on brand. On brand, folks. On brand. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Suns and Thunder. That should be a good matchup and kind of really see where the Suns are at as they are getting healthy. So I'm interested in that.
Suns and Lakers?
Oh, yeah. My bad. Suns and Lakers. I thought I said it said Suns and Thunder. Suns and Lakers. I want to see where the Suns are at. We split I believe we only played twice so far. And we split those 2 games. So this is going to kind of be the rubber matchup between us and them. And coming off the 2 straight losses for the Lakers, I'm interested to see how they're going to play in Phoenix.
Yeah, Durant's back. I think Bradley Beal's supposed to be back as well. We'll see how they fit back into the lineup. Like we know how they fit into the lineup, but is there going to be any rust or anything? Because they've missed. Both of them have missed about 3 to 4 weeks. So we'll see how they end up getting back into the lineup and how they look. That's a good game tonight. Now it's NBA Cup tonight, so we get some good games with the NBA Cup. Teams allegedly try a little bit harder on the NBA Cup, so it should be fun.
Who's in the lead? We're coming down the stretch of that, aren't we?
Oh, I can't pretend to care about the prestigious NBA Cup.
It's prestigious. Come on, man. You got to care.
No.
What are we talking about, dog? What are we talking about? You're not going to care about the very prestigious, get it right, sir, very prestigious NBA Cup. Now I have to do my due diligence on the fly here and let the people know, because everyone wants to know.
Your Warriors pick is looking pretty good. They're 3-0 and they've clinched, a spot in the next round or whatever.
What are we talking about? But yes, we have in the West Group A division, we have the Rockets, who are at 2-0. We got a whole bunch of 1-1 teams: Clippers, Timberwolves, Trailblazers. Then we got in the West Group E, we got the Lakers at 2-0, followed by the Thunder, Spurs, and Suns at 1-1. West Group C, we got the Warriors at 3-0. The Dallas Mavericks at 2-1, just behind them. East Group A, we have the Magic at 2-0, as well as the Knicks at 2-0. Then we got East Group B. The Bucks are at 2-0, and the Detroit Pistons at 2-0. And finally, East Group C, Hawks at 2-1 and Celtics at 2-1.
I like how you sound like a train. I was gonna say like Trans Am. You sound like a train stop. Like, now stop A, East Market Street. Like that's how you sounded like with this.
I've been on way too many trains in my lifetime.
I can't pretend to care about the prestigious NBA Cup. Sorry.
The very prestigious NBA Cup.
Sorry, very prestigious. My bad.
Will, tell them in the chat. Yes, the Lakers have a banner. It gets you a banner.
I hope that whoever wins it, whoever wins it this year is like, no, we're not hanging a banner. This thing, why are we going to hang a banner? That's dumb. They just make the Lakers
Shane
look
Douglas
silly.
Throwing down the NWA world.
We're not hanging a banner for this stupid thing. Get out of here. Apologies to the very prestigious NBA Cup.
This guy has no honor and respect for the prestigious NBA Cup.
I can't pretend to care about it. It does not matter one bit. Just us.
Disgusting behavior.
Doesn't matter.
Disgusting.
Doesn't matter. All right.
What's your hottest take and top 3, bottom 3? You want to start us off this week?
Yeah. All right, I'll start. Okay, bottom 3. I feel like I'm just gonna put the Sixers here, just because. Yeah. I mean, look, they got 3 wins. They're the second worst team in the league. What do you want me to say about it? We've talked about them, but they're in the bottom 3. They're lucky they're not below some of these other teams. But there's one team that's way worse than them. Like, even though it's only a 1-game difference in the standings, amazingly, this team sucks. Way worse than them. And the other team, a lot of injuries. They got healthy. They're out here signing Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton dropping 20 assists last night, by the way. He wasn't in the league like 2 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden, it's a 20 assist game. Bless. But anyway, the Sixers, we've talked about them. I don't want to break Ryan Sullivan's heart any more than we already have. I don't want to be mean to Ryan. Ryan's a pal. But look, the Sixers, they're bottom 3. They're at number 3 in the bottom 3.
Poor guys. Number 3 in the top 3. No ties this week. Number 3 is the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 1 seed in the Western Conference, had wins this week over the Kings and the Trailblazers. So I like what the Thunder is doing. I've said it too many times this season. They were my pick to be the NBA champions, and they haven't, the injuries have been a factor for them, but they haven't let it, cause them to go on a very bad slide. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an MVP candidate. J-Dub looks like he's going to be an all-star, so it's looking all good for the Thunder.
Yeah, Hartenstein back. Looked good the last 2 games. Getting not like a big win over the Kings. The Kings are middle of the pack team, but a solid victory over a team. We hadn't won in Sacramento since the Chris Paul days. So, they play in Sacramento at least twice a season. Going into Sacramento, a place that we've not done well for years. It's a nice little victory. Next team up, New Orleans Pelicans. Still hit with a bunch of injuries, but at the end of the day, they've lost 5 straight. They're relying on Elfrid Payton to somehow make an impact for them. They're getting healthy. I think Dejounte Murray is supposed to play on Wednesday, so that'll obviously be a big boost for them. I don't know when Zion is ever going to play again. Brandon Ingram's in and out of the lineup, but getting Dejounte Murray will at least be helpful in that regard. But otherwise, too many injuries on this team. Just way too many injuries, and that's tough to overcome. It's tough to overcome when you just have like one big injury. This team's been decimated with like multiple big injuries.
And that's why I didn't have faith in them during our preview because I was like,
fair.
they can never stay healthy.
Yeah, Zion just might be what it is. Unfortunately, with Zion, it's a shame because there was a lot of hype, a lot of hope with him, and just not there.
Nope. Number 2 for us this week, we got number 1 from last week, the Cleveland Cavaliers, 17-1, still sitting on top of the Eastern Conference, but they had a crucial loss this week, which has affected the top 3. But they're still a great team. They play really damn good defense. Their offense have really come together and meshed so well. This was a team that, we had very high hopes for, 2 years ago when Donovan Mitchell first came over, but they have really kind of gelled together and bounced back from that first loss of the season, picking up wins over, yes, the mediocre Pelicans and the also mediocre Toronto Raptors. So that's why they dropped from the number 1 spot to number 2 this week.
Fair. Look, at the end of the day, the Cavs have the best record in the league, so
yeah,
they're still right there with the best record. They lost to the Celtics. You're gonna lose games. I know there's nothing terrible with losing to the reigning, defending NBA champions. Still like Cleveland in the long run out here. Still like them in the long run. The bottom team, no surprise, the Washington Wizards. They're going to be the bottom team until further notice. Lost 11 straight. Now we're not quite to Pistons watch, but we're getting a Pistons watch with them.
If we go another 2 weeks without them getting a win, then we're on Pistons watch.
Their schedule, I mean, look, when you're as bad as they are, there's no like gimme games. Their schedule, they're going to play some teams in the West. They got the Bulls. The Bulls at home might be their shot, because the Bulls are very inconsistent. The Bulls' offense looks good. Their defense is terrible. I expect this game to end like 150 to 160. After that, though, you face the Clippers. The Clippers, say what you will about them, they play hard and
they play hard. Ty Lue is proving why he's a great coach.
Yeah. Milwaukee's kind of turned things around. Giannis is really taking over games. Cleveland, okay, unless Cleveland just doesn't take that game seriously. Dallas, Denver, Memphis, Charlotte. All right, you might be able to get that one. Milwaukee again, OKC, Charlotte. That's
the
until
2
December.
Charlotte games and Chicago are their best chances to win.
Yeah. If they don't beat the Bulls tonight, and they're looking at a pretty lengthy losing streak all the way until December 19th. That's that first Charlotte game.
Yeah, if they don't beat the Bulls, we're putting them at 90% to Pistons watch. We're putting them at 90% to Pistons watch next week.
It's a bad team. It's a hilariously bad team. At least they're funny.
They're funny and they're fun to watch and laugh at. Then we have number 1 for me this week in the top 3. Obviously, it's the Boston Celtics, the reigning NBA champions, and really it comes down to they beat the number 1 team. They broke the streak, beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. 1 week ago, and they've I mean, what else can you say about the Boston Celtics? They're the deepest team. They're the most well-rounded team. They seem like they're one of the best coach teams out there. They've been shooting the three ball ridiculous this season. Their defense has been on par, if not better, than the championship team. So they've really put it all together. They are firing on all cylinders. And a lot of the games that they have lost, it really feels like it's just that they are not trying hard enough. And that is when you know a team is just on a different level. They're better than most of the teams that they're going to be across the game from. I think the only loss that I really respect is probably the Warriors. Probably the Warriors won. But yeah, this week was a good week. Wins over the Cavaliers, wins over the Timberwolves. Jason Tatum is looking like an MVP candidate so far. Jaylen Brown has proven why he was the NBA Finals MVP. They're like 1 through, I would say, 8. I don't think there's any team better than the Boston Celtics right now. So easy number 1 for me in the top 3.
Porzingis returned last night. Still first game since the finals where he was kind of in and out of the lineup anyway with health. But they're getting healthy on top of just already being the best team, or at worst, the second best team in the league. That's the biggest thing with Boston is, can they stay healthy through the season? Because if they are, they're going to be back in the conference finals.
No doubt.
Hottest takes, SP3. Do you have one lined up?
Let me see here. Hottest take. Okay, let's go with. Oh yeah, you have to pull up the tracker, the hottest take tracker.
November 26th. All right.
Are you gonna like share it on the screen when
I can do that?
We have to go back.
Yeah, I can do that. I know if you want me to share it, but I can certainly do that. Hold on one second.
No doubt.
Okay, here we go. Hottest takes. There we go. Boom. All right. What you got?
I will say here on November 26, 2024, that not only will the Milwaukee Bucks make the playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks will still be a 3 seed. They will be top 3 in the Eastern Conference.
Okay. It's hype. All right. There we go. All right. Like that's looking a little bit better than my will not make the playoffs right now, because they've turned it around. And the East is so trash. The East is so
exactly. That's what it's coming down to. I was like, Giannis looks way too dominant, and the East is so trash. Yeah, I was like, even though I have like the Magic, what did I say for the Magic? Top 4 or conference finals? I will still say the Bucks record in the regular season will probably be better than the Magic.
Okay. All right. I'm going back to the trade well here. Last week I gave you Trae Young to the Portland Trailblazers. This week I'm going even bigger. Going an even bigger trade. The Detroit Pistons. Detroit basketball. The Detroit Pistons will acquire Joel Embiid.
That is hottest take. That is hottest take, ladies and gentlemen. Joel Embiid to the Detroit Pistons.
That's right. Joel Embiid traded to the Detroit Pistons. That's my hottest take.
I don't know how he comes up with this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, but that is Jeremy Lambert.
I like trades. I enjoy like coming up with trade ideas. I might as well throw a team out there instead of just like, oh, Trae Young will be traded. Oh, Joel Embiid will be traded. No, I'll give you the exact team that they'll be traded to. Detroit's got some young talent. They're playing well. Do they need to make this trade? Probably not. Is it a smart trade? Debatable.
He's like,
Debatable. But I could see them, wanting to make some type of big splash. And I could see the Sixers, if they can move Embiid, the relationship ain't what it used to be. Embiid ain't happy, smiley, trust the process. Oh, I love Philadelphia. No, he's like, this town kind of sucks. This town's treating me like trash. He's moody. He wants to fight reporters. He wants to fight teammates.
This is true.
I don't know. That's why it's hottest take, right? Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come true, but what is something that nobody else is thinking of, that nobody else is out there saying? Who else is giving you Joel Embiid to the Detroit Pistons? Nobody.
Who else is giving you Julius Randle will be an all-star? Who else is giving you that? Nobody else but FMC.
Julius Randle, he's about to fight his teammates too. Oh, that clip with him and Gobert was hilarious.
I was like, why does every teammate of Gobert want to fight him?
Gobert literally had his man. He's got a guy a whole foot shorter than him, sealed literally underneath the basket. He just needs to throw the ball, and Gobert can just go like that and dunk it, like Prince over here. He could just easily dunk the ball. And Randall's like, nah. I gotta ISO right quick. Hold up, fam. I gotta
ISO Randall. Come on,
dribble.
ISO Randall.
Oh, and Gobert just casually getting a 3-second call. And then Randall whipped that pass to him at the end of the game. Here, catch this, home. Catch this, man. Gobert can't catch like simple passes. He certainly wasn't going to catch like that thing. That thing was coming at him like a fastball out there.
Like,
he wasn't going to
set me up for failure out here, man.
That's fantastic. I'm all for this Minnesota implosion. I think it's funny.
I don't think it's funny. I wanted more for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but here we are, ladies and gents.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry. I got to throw out there the hottest takes, man. I got to throw out there the hottest takes.
You do.
Would you be happy with an Embiid trade? Would you be happy with an Embiid trade, Ryan? I mean, you as well, SP3, but
to the Western Conference, I wouldn't mind.
Really? Why to the West? I feel like that you think
because Western Conference got all the best centers.
Yeah, so why would you want him in the West?
So they would have all the best centers, not just all the best centers except for Embiid. Put all the best centers in the West.
I never want like the teams that my team's competing with to get better. That's dumb. Why do
I don't care. I don't. Why would I care if Joel Embiid went to the Trailblazers? Ain't gonna improve them that much.
Oh, a team like the Trailblazers, maybe not. Well, when they get Trae Young and then Joel Embiid, then they're going to be
when they get Trae Young, it's a wrap. Trae and Embiid and Portland, come on, Rip City.
I'm all like keep all the good players in the other conference. I want my team to have the easiest path possible. Are you kidding me?
That's fair. That's a fair thought. I'll give you that.
That's all I want. All right, we've sent the link to our pal Cher Delaware. We got 2 episodes of the challenge to recap. I can't remember what happened 1 episode ago, much less 2 episodes ago.
I need a reminder. I think I remember the elimination at least. I think that's really the gist of like I usually remember eliminations and then I can pick. It's like a puzzle. I can put it together if I have the elimination.
I remember this elimination, the one that just happened, but the one before that.
He's like the one before that.
Yeah,
not so much.
Now we're reaching a little bit.
Yeah, not so much. I mean, I don't know. I only think that you remember this elimination because it was a freaking blowout.
That's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. This elimination. Ryan saying he wouldn't be happy with a Joel Embiid trade. What if you get? Let's look at the Pistons roster. What move?
You get Cade Cunningham.
Nah, they're not trading Cade.
Ivy.
I don't know if they're trading Ivy.
No, they're not getting Joel Embiid. What are we talking about?
They're trading draft picks. Tobias Harris.
that right there. If I'm the Sixers, you're gonna cause another riot in Philadelphia. You know how these Sixers feel.
Tobias Harris. You got to give up Jalen Duren. You got to give up Jalen Duren in this trade, at the very least.
This is the third best player. What?
Nah, he's their fourth. I actually think Asir Thompson is better than Jalen Duren.
So we're not giving up their top three.
Yeah, you probably got to give up. You probably got to give up Asir Thompson as well. You got to give them up too.
We're not giving up our top two players, but we're gonna give
that's
up.
Okay. You don't have to give up your top two players.
I understand not giving up their top player. That's understandable.
By the way, I don't think Philly should want. I don't think Philly should want Cade and Jaden Ivey because where are you playing them? You've got McCain and Maxey as guards. That's why I think Thompson's a bigger deal than Cade or Ivy. So yeah, Asir Thompson.
I'm still asking for Ivy.
I mean, you might ask for him, but then what are you doing? Is Ivy coming off the bench?
Yep.
No.
Our team is deep as hell.
No.
Deep as hell.
It seems small.
Ivy, sixth man of the year.
It seems small. No. I would take Asir Thompson, Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris. And
oh my God. Stop saying that. Stop saying it. I can't take you seriously.
Why are you hating on Tobias Harris?
Because he is the most overpaid person in the NBA.
Not now.
Oh, well, yeah, not now. Because he
cares about his contract now. Tobias Harris, by the way, shooting 31% from three, 13 points, 7 rebounds.
Why are you saying that? Like, that's something for him to be proud about.
You know why I'm saying it? Paul George, by the way, 27% from three, 14 points, 6 rebounds. So that's why I'm saying it.
1 more point and 1 less rebound.
And shooting way worse from three.
4% less.
That's worse.
Way worse? Not way
That's
worse.
Worse.
It's worse, but not way worse.
And guess who has the worst contract out of those two, SP3?
Oh, well, yeah, definitely. It's Paul George.
There you go.
That's why you try to trade Paul George to the Detroit Pistons.
Paul George ain't got no value. You're not getting anybody for Paul George. You wouldn't get Tobias Harris for Paul George.
Imagine they try that. Like, let's get Tobias back for Paul George. I think we made a mistake.
How many wins Tobias Harris got? 8. How many Paul George got? 0. I don't think they won a single game with him in the lineup.
Well, there we are. There we are, folks. You heard it here first.
Paul George, Tobias Harris, a winning player.
Right, winner, loser.
Our pal Cher Delaware is here. Hello, Cher Delaware. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're doing well.
Hello.
Well. We got a lot to challenge to recap. Well, let's just get into this. SP3. Do you remember what happened 2 weeks ago?
We'll try.
We're not 2 weeks behind, are we?
Yeah, we didn't do last week because 2 weeks ago was like kind of a nothing.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was a nothing. It was a nothing burger.
So
that's why
you watched it. Yeah, you watched it.
She's like, did I even watch it?
We all agreed in our group chat that like nothing happened, and it was like, we can skip this week and it'll be fine.
So I'm gonna pause this for a second because I told Mrs. Jeremy about this last night. So I posted on Twitter my oldest got in a 3-wheeler accident. I think I said 4-wheeler initially, but it was actually a 3-wheeler. And so we had to go to the hospital last night. He had x-rays. He's radioactive now, all that. He literally had to have both arms, his ribs, both legs x-rayed. Like he was x-rayed all over. So the doctor, when he came in, was like asking him what happened. He doesn't remember it. I don't know if he got knocked out or if it was just like it happened so quickly sort of thing that he, and he's like, okay, I'm going to give you 3 words to remember. He repeats them back to him. They go through this whole full body exam and everything. Like 5 minutes later, he's like, okay, what were those 3 words? My oldest immediately rattles them off. And I was like, do I have a concussion? Like, I don't remember what he said at all. And that's Mrs. Jeremy was like, oh yeah, that would be terrible for me. I said, I was sitting there like, I barely even remember that he said 3 words, let alone what the 3 words were. I'm like, oh my God, my memory is so bad. So thinking of that, I mean, I'll remember it once you start recapping it. I remember nothing from this episode. So.
I
All I
will
need is
attempt
like
to.
visual aids, and now I remember. All right, so
Okay, you got it, SP3. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember like the stuff before the daily challenge, but I remember the daily challenge, and I remember stuff between the daily challenge and elimination, and then the end.
Okay, what
but
was the daily
yeah,
challenge? Because I might remember this stuff before it.
the daily challenge was the one with the balls in the pit, where they have to go down this like pit that's like a maze, and they have to grab the ball, and then they have to bring the ball to like an answer key that they're gonna have to put all the balls together to make this pyramid puzzle.
Jenny and Rachel working together in it.
Yes, Jenny and Rachel
Okay.
decided to work together as angels. You had Jordan out there doing parkour, jumping and leaping like he was John Morrison and stuff like that. Then you had Michelle, who had the penalty based on the mini final one. So she had the penalty, so she was behind everybody. But she nearly made it to the end, but unfortunately she came in last. So she had to go straight to the elimination. V barely avoided the elimination. She put her puzzle together just before Michelle was able to. And Michelle's supposed to be a puzzle queen, so I don't know what happened there. I believe the winner of this elimination, if I'm not mistaken, was Jenny. Was it Jenny? No, it was not Jenny. Was it Tori?
I think it was Tori again, wasn't it?
Jordan won for the guys.
Jordan.
Yeah, I know Jordan won for the guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not sure who. Oh no, it was Cara. It was Cara.
Oh yeah,
won.
Yeah, because Cara was up. She was in the Johnny had nominated her, so because she won, she saved herself from being Yeah,
because that's what everybody was talking about, how clutch that was. And yes,
I swear we are not all concussed.
After the last time we talked about the challenge and we were down on Cara Maria based on how she did in the mini final, this was so needed with the fact that she was a target, with the fact that she was having a crisis of confidence. This was probably the most clutch victory of a daily challenge of the season, and a puzzle. And we know Cara's history with puzzles is not the best. And she beat some tough competitors. She had Jenny and Rachel working together. You know, Tori is coming off of multiple wins, including that mini final. But Cara was able to pull off the victory. So hats off to her. I believe Corey came in last for the men, because he would have a penalty in the next daily challenge. So it was it made everything pretty simple, because of it. And that's what I think made the show boring. Because with Cara winning and Michelle coming in last, literally there was no choice. There was no deliberation. There was no chamber. It was Olivia, because Olivia, Michelle, and Cara were the targets. So it was, if Michelle comes in last, Cara comes in first, Olivia, you're the only choice.
I remember this episode now. I think I blocked it out for a reason, because if I heard them say best friend one more time, I was gonna throw myself off the roof of my house. Like,
can't believe I have to face my best friend
every 5 seconds. I'm like, dude, like what? On and on and on. Oh my God, it was awful. It was terrible.
These people don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah, no. I mean, clearly.
But yes, it was a lot of mushy stuff. Them like, oh, we're supposed to be friends forever, and all this nonsense. I tuned out a lot of the stuff between the daily challenge and the elimination, because I was just like, why do I care?
Okay, but we have to address the funniest part of this episode.
Oh, I was gonna get to it.
Okay, go ahead.
Foot fetishes?
Yes.
Because apparently, Bananas Angels have been having some footsie time. They put their foots all together and they rub them all together.
Okay, we've seen it a lot. I had noticed that in the last few episodes, them showing it, giving each other foot massages and rubbing, and I'm like, why do they all have their feet on each other? And then Michelle called it out.
And yeah, so they're on the bus after the daily challenge, and Michelle was in the back with Olivia, and Bananas is in like the seat just before them, and Aviv is across from Bananas, and they have their shoes and their socks off. Why? I don't know why, but I know they in this challenge a bunch of people lost their shoes and stuff like that, so it must have been hard on their feet. But yeah, they had their feet in the aisleway, and they were kind of like playing. They were playing footsie. Like I don't care. I respect everyone having a marriage and stuff like that and a relationship, but I am sorry, Miss Aviv. I'm sorry. If my missus saw me rubbing footsies with someone across the other way, yeah, I'm in trouble. So like, just because you want to play innocent, and Bananas' reaction confirmed what the fuck y'all were doing. Like,
well, and the issue of it wasn't like their feet just touched, which was what he kept saying. Like he was literally rubbing his foot all over hers, and that's his reaction. Very much showed that they'd been caught doing something that they probably shouldn't. No one's insinuating it was anything more than that, but it was inappropriate. And people being like, you're ruining her marriage or whatever. Like, she's in charge of her own actions. She knows she's on a TV show. I mean, like, maybe Aviv kind of caught a stray there, but it was more at Bananas than it was at Aviv. Like, that was the whole thing earlier in the season, like, with Darrell and Laurel, and people being like, Laurel had no reason to even, Laurel was just having a tantrum. Like, she was just going after people. Like, it wasn't like it was. And I mean, I don't think that Michelle was necessarily right to just, she knew what she was doing. She was trying to start shit, but that doesn't mean that what they were doing was right either.
Exactly.
Like,
two wrongs don't make a right.
Yes.
Like, I don't care what y'all do. And Bananas' reaction was off.
He was super dramatic about it.
This is always what Bananas does. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Yeah. He's going to chastise and redirect. That's what he always does. Mm-hmm. It is hilarious that, they came into this game, I guess friends. I don't really know if they were friends. But he's like, oh, Devin's just using you for game. And like, all he's done all season is like, oh, you're going to throw away our friendship for Devin, who's just using for game. All he's done all season is like cut down Michelle. And this episode was the worst of it, where it's like, yeah, you suck. Just entirely.
You'll never be good at the challenge.
Yeah.
Well, and I think anybody that has watched Bananas for any amount of time knows Bananas picks out on mostly women. He mostly goes after women or men like Devin, who are physically not strong. Like, Devin is smarter than he is. He knows he's not going to beat Devin in a puzzle 9 out of 10 times, but physically he's going to beat Devin. Like, I mean, that's just, so he goes after the people that are weaker than him, like any bully does. And it's just like, I was proud of Cara there too, like standing up and being like, why are you going after her like that? And he's like, she's going, like, he's such a child about everything. The confessionals were pretty accurate. And I mean, Michelle even said she knew what she was doing. Like, he picks at everybody else, so she did the same thing that he does, and that's why he didn't like it. But the whole thing was uncomfortable. I was like, can we move on from this? I don't want to watch this anymore. Like, I don't want to talk about their feet or whatever. Like, this is just uncomfortable. And I mean, the only reason Aviv is with Bananas is because Aviv came on the show and didn't know 90% of these people. Like, you found somebody that you know. Do we think that they actually were keeping in contact with one another?
No. Because they didn't even work the one season that she did. Bananas wasn't even on it. So
exactly. They came in there, they know each other, and he's like, yeah, a woman. And once he saw how everything was playing out, he's like, absolutely. Like, we're in the same era. She's on my side. Like, he knew what he was doing. If it was another season where she wasn't beneficial to him, Johnny wouldn't give a crap about her. And that's why I think so many people are so frustrated with Aviv too, is because she hasn't played this in so long and she doesn't get it. Like, I mean, she's been impressive physically for her size and, you know, the plantar fasciitis and everything, but it's like, we all know you're not going to win. So we're all just like, okay, when's Vive going to go home at this point?
She
And
would be definitely the weakest link out of the Angels.
Right now. Absolutely. By far. Like,
it's not even close. But yeah, that was like the main portion from before the elimination. And then I thought the elimination was a fun one. I love eliminations that are like 2 steps. So they had to basically get all these kind of poles and create their own ladder to get puzzle pieces at the top of the ladder. And then once they get the puzzle pieces and they drop them down, they then have to get the puzzle pieces out and they have to put together a phrase of some type. And the phrase was "not eliminated tonight." So it was funny because Olivia won the race up the ladder, but she couldn't figure out this word puzzle for the life of her.
Well, yeah, and when she said she was dyslexic, I was like, oh, she's screwed.
It's over. Yeah, like, I was like, it's over.
Yeah, there's no way she can do this. I felt bad for her, but like you said, I like multiple part eliminations because they're more of an equalizer. If we've got part of it that's a physical thing and part of it that's a puzzle, well, you know, you might suck at one part and be good at the other. Like Olivia, she beat her in the first part, but there was no way she was getting that puzzle. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. So, but I did like this. We keep bringing it up, but it was better than, you know, the Mario Kart race. So.
So much better. So much better. Disgusting. But yes, that was the elimination. And then Michelle had to choose her targets and she chose Bananas. She chose Josh because on this episode, Josh officially became an angel and they tried to rename it into Rachel's Angels.
Which is what it should have been from the beginning.
It should have been that from the start. And then I wouldn't have to deal with the whole freaking monologue about Bananas is so misunderstood. He's such a good guy.
I'm so sick of hearing about Bananas.
Oh, I want to... yeah, that's the next episode we'll talk about here. But yeah, she shows Bananas, Josh, and what was the third? Oh, Corey, because earlier in the episode before the elimination, Corey had went to Michelle and he was basically trying to kind of confirm their alliance. He was like, "You're my number one girl now," and he was like, "I want to be your number one guy," and she was like, "Well, you know, I'm close with I'm close with Kylan. Kylan's my number one guy, but you would be number 2. And she was like, well, he's like, I can't be number 2 if you go and pick me tonight. And she was like, we'll see. And then she wound up picking him anyway. And Cara smartly took advantage of this because she came right behind Michelle and was like, hey, Corey, I don't have any number one guy. I don't have any real alliances right now. She's choosing. This is the best time to kind of choose an alliance. If you have been kind of like floating in the middle, it was now or never on choosing some type of alliance. So Cara won, and then she got her first alliance. So Cara was the MVP of this episode.
Yeah, and when Michelle said his name, Cara was like, "Told you, like, told you she's not going to be your number one." Like, and I think that that's forever going to be Michelle's downfall. Like I've said, I like Michelle more this season than I have in previous seasons. Now, these last few episodes, she's been getting on my nerves, but I did like her more. But she wants to be friends with everybody. It's very Josh, and it's very, when no one is your number one, you're no one else's number one. So, like, I mean, Josh, Tori's supposed to be like your brother, and you know who's her number one? Her ex-fiance over you. Like, I mean,
wild.
Just he can't, and now he's saying that. I mean, we'll get to it in the next episode because the next episode is so Josh centric. But he's claiming that he was hurt on this season, and that's why he didn't perform well. And I'm like, Josh, what was the excuse for every other season then? Like, come on. And he is in the best shape he's been in physically, thanks to Rachel. He's like a freaking, like, just big, the goof. He's the big dumb goof going around. Like,
give me the goof. Oh my God! Right? No, my favorite part of this next episode we're going to discuss, because I don't know if I'll remember it by the time we get to the elimination. But Josh saying that, oh, speed is not my strength. My strength is
yes.
endurance.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a sprint.
I put that in our group chat as well. We'll get to the elimination. I'll bring up that line, I promise you, because there was a line that stood out.
It was that whole next episode. Like, we had this one of the best friends crying, and then the next one is Josh crying.
Is Josh crying? Yes. Yeah.
I posted when I watched it the next morning. All I posted was, "Wow, I'm shocked. Josh is crying," and so many people were like, "Color me shocked!" Like, I didn't even say it was the challenge or anything, and people immediately knew.
Josh, this episode, when they go back to the house and everything, and he's talking, he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna play a scared game. Like, I'm go." It's almost over. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, there's like 3 people left.
You've been playing a scared game. You're the same dude who said he would be a target and then didn't raise his hand because CT was a target.
Like you have no choice.
That in the same season and then say, I'm not playing a scared game. You are.
Well, he thinks now he's got Bananas to protect him and the girls. So he's like, oh, now I can, I'm not playing a scared game. I'm like, no, Josh, this is why we don't like you. We tried to give him chances. Like,
and again, you have no choice. You're a target now. Like, and there's only a couple other people that are there. There's Jordan, and then there's Kyland, who are not targets, and then you, Bananas, and Corey are targets. So your chances of going into elimination are pretty strong based on all of this. Like, you gotta win. Otherwise, you might end up down there. He's like, oh, I'm not playing a scared game now. I'm not going to be afraid to go to elimination. Like, there are 3 targets. There are 5 guys. You're probably going to the elimination, buddy.
Literally every time, because as I said, you can't be everybody's number one. And you like, that's the problem, which we don't ever have to worry about it because Josh is never going to win anything, but he would never have to nominate anybody because he doesn't. I mean, he ain't never going to win. We don't have to worry about it. But
he always makes it to this to like close to the end because he does play a scared game. He plays behind his alliances. Like, that's what everybody gets annoyed about. It's like, don't play a scared game and then tell us you're not playing a scared game. That is your game.
Yes.
Like, whether you realize it or not, whether you want to give it the title of a scared game,
that's how you
are playing a scared game.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, we already know the women nominate the men nominate the women. Like, every time when the other one is in there, they're like, I can just sit back and be like, I support their decision. Like, I don't not get my hands dirty and everything. Okay. If any of the 3 of Bananas Angels win, and it's Jordan or Kyland who wins for the men, probably who's going to be, because that's what it is on almost every daily challenge. It's Jordan or Kyland. Do you think that they're going to not put you in over Bananas? No, Bananas is going to be safe, and you're going in every time, even with your other angels. Like, I mean, he's just... I don't understand. And I think that he is just the person who wants everyone to like him. And he can't get out of that mindset when he's in the house. And that's part of the problem. But I saw he did Bananas. I'm pretty sure it was Bananas podcast. And was like, I just really want money so I can take care of my family. Because his parents had immigrated to the United States. And I didn't listen to the whole thing, just kind of roughly. And then he was like, I just want to be able to give them a better life. Didn't he win a bunch of money already on Big Brother?
He won Big Brother. He's done 7 seasons of the challenge.
I'm like, where is your money? I get you have to pay taxes on it, but I guarantee he has pretty good appearance fee for the challenge by this point because they're obsessed with him. He doesn't have a job outside of the challenge. So it's like, when he said, I'm like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've won are you not helping them? Like, are you too busy on your vacations to help them? I'm so confused right now, sir. Like, it's basically the Corey narrative, but instead of it being his kids, it's his parents that he has to take care of. Like, he just swapped it around. And I'm like, I always get annoyed with Corey too, and I have liked Corey better the past 2 episodes because we know Corey's always iffy for me, but I'm sure that they prompt him to talk about his kids all the time. But the amount of times that he mentioned Ryder and her surgeries, I'm like, okay. Like at this point, it feels like you think just because your child has been sick and it's terrible, she has a lifelong disease, but that like you deserve the win just because you have a sick kid. Like, I don't think that's how this works, man. Like, that's really not how it's going here. And I'm just like, oh boy, here we go.
I want Corey to win.
I want him to win one.
I want him to win just one. Just
he
one.
Ain't gonna win this one, though. I don't think he has a chance to win this one.
Nah.
He waited until, like we talked about, Cara slid in there, but Cara had alliances prior. Most of hers.
And Cara had to go to him. He never does the due diligence himself. He never wants to go to anybody.
The people that Cara would have had their backs earlier in the game, CT who left 10 years ago, and people like that, they're gone.
Or her boyfriend who left 11 years ago.
Yeah, they're all gone. Like, so she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll approach him since he's like, Corey, at some point you have to try to get on people's good. You can't do it all yourself because when the women are nominating you every time, like, maybe try to be friends with some of them. I mean, he hadn't even really talked to Tori about the game and they're supposed to be friends. I'm like, what's happening here? I mean, I think that
Tori had him third. Had him third behind Josh.
And her ex-fiance. I mean, I think he's still in his mind is so in the Young Buck era when it was those three were like, it was them head and head with like the bananas and stuff on there. They're gone and they're not coming back and they're not going to have your back anymore. Like, we literally saw Nelson's leg in this episode. I mean, and Hunter, I don't even think Hunter gets the call to come on the show anymore. Like, he's long gone after he was like threatening to kill people and stuff because he lost his money.
They showed that early clip of Hunter. At the beginning of the show, they showed like flashback clips. Yeah, and this flashback clip was Hunter. It's like, oh, him. I remember him, sort of.
I was surprised when they showed that on there, but yeah. So now we can cover the next Josh episode.
It was I don't remember much before the elimination. I mean, or more before the daily challenge. The daily challenge,
Josh crying.
The daily challenge was one of the best of the whole entire season.
Good. Yeah,
this was awesome. Oh, the only thing I do remember before the daily challenge was Josh trying to take ownership of being a target, saying that he volunteered. Dude, you can't volunteer if you're one of 5 choices, and you're the closest associate of the main person she's gonna name. How did you? What? Wait, what? Like, no, this is a
him trying to change
premeditated
the narrative.
Yeah, this is just you trying to change the narrative.
He's like, we talked, and I was like, I'll it's okay. You can nominate me. I get it. Like, buddy, shut up.
I see. Like, I wish they had a confessional with Michelle being like, I was gonna vote for him anyway. Like, what? Oh, I hated that so much. But the daily challenge, one of the best of the season. I forgot the name of it, but basically everybody was on semi trucks and they had big like ropes where they would have to swing and knock off targets. So it was 12 targets on the track, and you basically would knock side to side. So there was some like far off the track on the side here, and then there was some in the middle, and you would go at the same time as another competitor. So the first 2 to go was Cara and Tori, and they didn't do that great. I think Tori did 2? She got 2 out of 12 because she just stopped jumping at a certain point, and then Cara got 5. Jenny tied with Cara with 5 as well. Aviv did the worst, so she came in last here. Michelle barely did just as well as Tori did. and I think Aviv. No, I think Tori had 3 and Aviv had 2. Because Aviv couldn't even reach anything because she's so damn short. And then Rachel washed everybody. She got 9 out of 12.
Yeah.
So that's the women's side. The more interesting side on this episode, and this is a rarity because we said it multiple times this season, the women have been dominant. The women have been dominating the past All-Star season and this season, but the men were the standouts in this challenge. You had Corey, who had the penalty, so he got 9 out of 12. So it was with the penalty, they gave you a -1, so he got 8 out of 12. Then you had Bananas. He got 11 out of 12, and he just did amazing in this challenge. You had Josh go at the same time as Jordan, I believe, and Josh got 6 out of 12, so he came in last place, and he was going straight into the elimination. And then you had Jordan, because like I said, Bananas did 11 out of 12, so he literally set the bar so high for everyone else who had to go after him. But this dude, Jordan, goes and gets 12 out of 12, and it looked like he invented the game. It looked like
he's out there swinging around like a kid on a tire swing, just having the time of his life.
He literally had the moment like when an NBA player is hot and they're making every 3 and they go to their teammate, be like, I'm on it tonight. I'm on it. He literally said that to Josh, like after the Olympics. He's like, I can't be stopped. And then the final 2 was Derek and Kylan. I forget how many Kylan did, but he did more than Josh. So he did like, I think he got 10 or 11.
He did pretty well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he think he got like 10 or 11 out of 12. But Derek with the come from behind victory, with the all-star performance, 12 out of 12 for Derek Chavez. And then they did a sudden death where the first person who missed one, they lost. So we only saw up to the first miss. So I think they both went 5 out of 12. And then when they got to the 6th one, Derek hit it and Jordan missed. So Derek won the sudden death overtime. He won this challenge. Amazing performance by Derek. And apparently he went 12 for 12 on the second round as well. So
yeah.
Absolutely spectacular performance by Derek. One of the best performances in a daily challenge of the season so far. But he was just there for show because it came down to Rachel making the choice. Since Josh was in last place and he was a target, they had 2 targets as choices. It was Corey and it was Bananas. And this one was pretty obvious. We didn't even need a chamber or a deliberation. If it's up to Rachel, she's not, no matter what we had Cara trying, being like, it would be a good time for you to like stab him in the back and stuff like that. And I hated Rachel's response in the confessional, saying that, oh, Cara's just mad because I chose better alliances than her. No, your alliances is Cara's biggest ops in challenge history. I understand you haven't been on the season since season 22, Rachel. But you pay attention to the challenge. Don't tell us that the reason that Cara's telling you to betray Bananas is because of anything this season. Has nothing to do with that. It's because he's been verbally abusive to Cara for the better part of a decade. How about that?
Yeah.
How about we just start right there? We just start right there and we don't have to get any further. That was ridiculous. And Rachel's brain, I don't know what's going on. I think the Bananas is poisoning her. I think he's putting something in her sleeping pills, in her food, and it's just making her say dumb shit. But anyway,
rubbing it on her feet.
Yeah, rubbing it on her feet.
Yeah,
THC infused lotion.
She was so like nice to Bananas, like, oh, I know you're a good person and everything. It's like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
What's happening? No.
You know what it gives?
It felt really strange, and it was very victim blamey towards Cara too. And I like Rachel, but I did not like that at all.
To put as a minor comparison, it's very much like the person who says, Oh, well, they don't do nothing to me, so they're fine. They're a good person to me.
But he did
I don't
stuff
know
with
what
Rachel so many years ago that she just.
And I love him trying to say, "Oh, it was that one season, the island." No, you were on Battle of the Exes 1, targeting Rachel. What are you talking? Why do you? I understand you've done 47,000 seasons of the challenge. I understand that, but don't revisionist history us. And MTV, don't agree with his revisionist. You show us a clip of Battle of the Exes that was after the island. You make him look stupid like you try to do some of these other people. How about that?
Well, and my thing too with that is, okay, if she screwed him over on a show however many years ago, it's a game. It's a show. You're not aligning together. Cara's issues with Bananas are not because of, gameplay. Like, he has always made it incredibly personal with her off of the show. Not that she hasn't said negative things about him, but he's always gone after her and said things. He freaking has people come on his podcast to talk negatively about her and stuff. Like, it goes well beyond the show at that point. I mean, I don't know if you guys recall when Cara and Pauly first started dating and it came out that Pauly had like 18 girlfriends. And like one of them had went to like US Weekly or whatever. Like, and they're going back and forth. And Bananas sent Cara a big thing of roses.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh, that was so sweet."
No, he only did it to say it on the reunion.
He did it so that he could make himself look good. And he did it because at that time, him and Pauly were so against each other. And Pauly was the one who kept calling him out. We didn't know Pauly was basically going to suck at the challenge yet at that point. But Pauly was the one who kept calling him out. And he's like, "Oh, I can get her on my side. I can get her to go with me after him because his whole life is this damn show."
Yeah.
Like, everything in his life revolves around this show. So the people who were like, "Oh, that was so sweet." I mean, if the gesture was genuine, yes, but no part of me thinks that that was a genuine with pure motives or anything. Like, because as soon as she got back together with him, he was like, "Nah, I'm good." Like, sorry, you're dumb. Like, yeah, that whole thing was very odd to me. And I tried to give Rachel grace at first to be like, okay, well, she hasn't been on the show in a long time. You've been with these people enough now that you see the behaviors and stuff. So it's like, but I guess, she also did come from a time in the challenge where people were all batshit crazy. So, like, she's like, Johnny at 40 something is actually very calm compared to where we were 20 years ago. So
I'm just looking at the just this season and everything Bananas has said and done. And if I'm Rachel, I'm like, he hasn't changed that much. Like, every single episode, it feels like he has some type of outburst. It's like,
just
okay,
the stuff that he's said and done this season has been enough for me to be like, is this his worst behavior on a challenge season overall ever? Like, my God.
And Rachel just be sitting there smiling as he's doing all this shit. It's just like, because you and the thing
she's
that
like, hear no evil, see no evil.
the thing that makes it like very much like, I don't like you a little bit now. I used to love you, but I don't like you, because she had so much to say when she wasn't on the show and Bananas would do stuff like this. She had so much to say, but now that she's here, she's up here smiling, laughing in his face, all in the music videos. Like, yo, you twerking for him now. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm like, is she doing this because she plans on doing more challenges and she wants Bananas on her side? Because that would make sense. I mean, I could see it, but like, even when she doesn't need to defend him on social media, she'll go on to post defending him. And I'm like, girl, do you have freaking alerts set for his name? Like, are you following these like random fan pages? I'm so confused. Why are you in every reply section? Like, there was one the other day. Some dumb challenge fan decided they wanted a Republicans versus Democrats season. And I was like, that sounds like the worst idea I've ever heard.
That sounds awful, but amazing at the same time.
So they had divided Team Red and Team Blue based on what observing behavior and what they assumed. And Rachel's in the replies like, that one's wrong. They're not a Republican. And they're like, oh, okay, well, based on stuff that people they follow and stuff they've said. And she's like, nope, registered Democrat. Like, girl, have you seen their freaking voters?
I registered them, actually.
I held their hand when they went. Like, I was so confused.
Oh, that would be an amazing season. It gets
so messy. I wish I would have sent the picture to you guys. I don't know.
Oh, that would get
if
so,
I find it
messy.
again, I'm gonna send it to you guys because it was so funny. I mean, I could just go to Rachel's Twitter and look in her replies and find where she responded to it.
That's
it hilarious. Was very funny though.
That's hilarious. I love that. So yeah, it was obvious Rachel picked Corey for the elimination. So it was Corey versus Josh in the elimination, which was basically a sprint race. You had the two competitors on opposite sides of this like wall, and one side of the wall was a longer sprint than the other side of the wall because that is for the person who is the runner. Then you had another person who was the blocker on the other side of the wall, and they had a shorter distance to run, but they did have an obstacle at the end, which was like a pile of hay. And I'll give you one guess who
was. Real quickly, before we get fully into the elimination, we got a Nelly T appearance. The great Nelly T returned via video cam with Corey. He showed his leg that he lost in the car accident, and he was saying he's getting a prosthetic, which he's gotten the prosthetic and everything now. But it was good to see Nelly T on the screen, and Corey was like, I'm fighting for Nelly T as well. Like this is also for him. So it was
nice. Like I think I was the first one of us three to watch it. So I wasn't like spoiling things for you guys. So I posted like on my page. And then I loved as you guys watched it, like Nelly T, like the reactions. Like, yes, like, and I've seen people that be like, we're supposed to be excited to see him. We're supposed to feel bad for him. Nobody's asking you to feel bad for him. Like, he owns that he did something very stupid. And guess what? He's paying the consequences for it for literally the rest of his life now. Like, I don't need to make him feel worse about something that he already feels terrible about. He made a stupid decision. I've been very vocal about how I feel about drinking and driving on my social media pages. Like he made a very stupid decision. He's lucky he is the only one that he hurt and that he didn't hurt someone else and also have to live with that for the rest of his life or kill himself or someone else. But it is what it is. It happened. And I mean, I'm not the person who thinks that we need to beat someone down for the rest of their life because of a terrible choice. I mean, everybody knows he made a really bad choice and he's paying for it. So I've just seen so many of the fan pages going on and on about it. And I'm like, it's all right. Like you could also just not say anything. Like I found it.
Okay.
Here is.
Can you send it and I can put it on the screen?
Yes, I'm sending it to you.
All right.
Also, someone quote tweeted it and said, okay, I just sent it to the group chat. Someone quote tweeted it and said, can you now do a casting for the challenge, tops versus bottoms? And that made me think of the comment before they started the daily when he was like, and you're going to be hitting it from the back or whatever. And Derek was like, oh.
Well, this challenge, this elimination was called coming from behind. So
that's what it was. He was like, and Derek was like, oh, and TJ was like, like disappointed dad look at him.
Like, this challenge was called coming from behind.
That's what it was. Yeah.
But yeah, SP3 laid out what the elimination was. I'm gonna upload this photo and we'll talk about it afterwards. But SP3 laid out what the elimination was, and yes, This was a very easy victory for Corey. And
This was a very one-sided win, barely an inconvenience.
So SP3 mentioned it, and I'm gonna bring it back up. But the first one, like Corey was the blocker, and he was like at the bell before Josh was like even close to being there. And it was just like, oh, okay, you're out. You just like shoved them, you're done. And then the next one, when Corey was the runner, he was easily at the bell. Josh tripped over the hay barrel. And then between, so it's first to 4. And between the 2, so Corey's already up 2-0 at this point. And this is where Josh goes. I know it doesn't look great, but my strength in this is my endurance, not my speed. And I messaged in chat and I was like,
it's not go until one of you die.
This is literally a sprint. This elimination is literally a sprint. Like your endurance has nothing to do here.
Injured. That's what he's telling everybody now. That's why he didn't do well, is because he was injured. He looked like a toddler who learned how to walk last week, is what he looked like. I mean, when he fell down, I just
so funny.
Oh no.
So Corey easily won.
It was someone like slipping down the stairs.
Corey easily won the next 2. But if this would have been best out of 100, Josh's endurance would have taken over and he would have had it.
Got it. Well, what was funny was I even told someone in my replies as I was watching it, I was like, is Corey really fast? And then I was like,
yes.
I think Josh is also just really slow, and it's making Corey look like he's literally like a cartoon character. He is fast, but Josh was like, when they would show him, like, Josh looks like he's moving in slow motion as he's going. And I'm like,
Josh is also just very slow. And then Josh cried again because
he's all about endurance.
Cried again. Gosh. Corey selected Jenny, Michelle, and Aviv as the targets because there's only so many people.
Do you know how hard I laughed? Do you watch the Karma Points part, Jeremy? I didn't know if it... Okay. Yeah. Because I know you don't watch, like, the preview. Josh acted like he was becoming the host of the challenge. Like, he's like,
this is how I can dictate the game.
Everything. Like, what? And he's like, he only gave 5s to what? Bananas,
Rachel,
and Rachel.
Yeah.
And someone posted that, and Corey was like, "Yeah, tell me I'm like his brother." And I
yes, I was gonna say, you give Corey a 1 after being like, "Oh, it's family. Yeah, we're family. Like, I don't want to go down there against you. Family, we got each other's backs." And then he gave Corey a 1. Like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? At least he was nicer than Laurel, who wouldn't give Banana a 5 because
he made up. He made up for Laurel's 1.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put the draft on the screen here, and then I'll put up the
sorry, chat. You
Dims and Repubs.
Oh damn,
Josh, he's gone, and
it's a wrap for the chat. The chat can't win.
Who was the female that lost?
Olivia.
Where's she at?
Jeremy has her. She's behind, under Katie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see her. Okay. All right.
That Derek pick that I was like my next to last picks looking
pretty
good right now.
Looking good.
Okay.
He killed it on that, and I was really. It made me happy to see Cara talking him up too. When she was like, no, like, I'm not surprised that you did so well. You know, like, I have done things with you before and people are just underestimating you. Like, yeah, he did really well. And I said that in the chat, too, because I didn't want to spoil it for Jeremy. I was like, that one specific person's performance in the daily was fantastic. Like,
that was the best. Oh, and him describing what he was thinking as he was doing it. He was like, yeah, I feel like I'm at a drag race. And I'm just like, what? Smash win.
Smash win.
was like, perfect. That is perfect description.
Well, I don't know if you remember SP3 when we went to the thing in Chicago. He was there. I'd never met Derek before, and I went over there and everybody was talking to me, and he's like, let's take a picture. Every picture I took, Derek is just in it. Freaking so drunk. His eyes don't even look like they're part of his body anymore. In every picture, there's Derek. I'm like, all right, whatever.
You had to pick him.
Yeah.
All right, so here is the red versus blue challenge.
Oh my god.
Oh, challenge party lines. Oh, that's such a good name
Yes.
for it too.
Challenge party
So,
line.
Oh.
Rachel said that the Tory placement was incorrect.
Okay.
So is this the updated one? Yes, because they had Tory on the red side.
Democrat. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So she said that the Tory placement was incorrect. They moved Tory. And who was the other one? I got to see if I can find it now. Because it was just cracking me up. That I'm like, why are you in these replies correcting people right now? So that's the updated one. Let me find her. Yeah.
Well, I got Jen on here. She hasn't done a season since
I
like
know.
21.
I'm like, they just saw her freaking Instagram post and they're like, nah, throwing that bitch under the bus. Rachel Fitness. Isn't that her?
And
Oh,
who
no.
Who the hell is next to Jay Mitchell? Who the hell is that? I don't even know who that person is. I don't know who's next to Corey Lay.
Wait,
and
on
underneath
which
Josh.
side? On which side of Jay?
Jay Mitchell and under Derek.
Okay, is that Dan? Who is that?
I'm trying to figure out who's next to. I'm trying to figure out who's next to Dan on the other side.
Who's under Teresa?
I have no idea who that person is.
I don't think I've ever seen that woman before in my life.
Yeah, I don't recognize some of these faces.
Okay,
here.
I'm trying to find Rachel now, and I just looked up Rachel Fitness, and I saw a bunch of porn. So that was not what I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, just like search like Rachel Challenge Twitter.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Hold on, I'll try to find it.
I'm scared to look up the wrong thing now.
Yeah, fair. Honestly, fair. Okay, I got it. Okay, am I just looking at replies here?
Yeah, because there was someone else that she corrected.
Okay, yeah, Tori. Okay, hold on. Tori isn't a liberal, you guys. She comes from somebody said Laurel isn't MAGA, and Rachel says nope, keep her where she is at.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that one.
Yeah, so it was Laurel and Tori were, I think, the two that she corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was just like, well, all right. I don't know who some of these people are.
I would like to do this, like, but they don't explain. That's the premise of it.
You have to guess.
Like, they don't explain, like, oh, it's just Democrats versus Republicans. It's just like, yeah, this is the team. And this is the team, and they don't understand like why they're grouped in this way until like everyone just starts to figure it out.
They put Zach's gonna be like, I have no idea why they put me on this team, but I'm with bananas, so I'm all good in my book.
Oh my god!
And they don't actually know. Like it's not explained. Like, oh, this is eras or exes or rivals or whatever. It's just like no, it's just don't even use red versus blue. Yeah. Use green versus yellow. I don't care, but just use different colors. Like, yeah, these are the teams we selected. Random draw is what this was.
It's a
yeah. Have you guys seen the TikTok thing that it was on YouTube or on Twitter was how I saw it that Zach did, and it was, I guess there's a trend of like people from movies being like, oh, this was who you thought was the heartthrob, but the real heartthrob was this other character. And then the camera turns around and it's like the actor of it. So he posted one on Jenna's TikTok account that was like, everyone talking about how Horacio is the heartthrob of the challenge, but I always thought it was Zach. And then it like the camera flips and it's him being like, and then he goes, oh shit, and like turns it off. Like it was so funny. I was like, I like Zach so much more since he's not on the challenge anymore.
Yeah.
He's much more likable on his other stuff and everything, but
Yeah, he had Josh on his last episode of his podcast, and it was. I always find it funny when people from the challenge are bigging up Josh, and Josh gets so emotional. Like, you don't know how much that means to me.
yeah.
Josh has a podcast, or Zach has a podcast.
Zach has a podcast, and
Zach
Josh
has a
was
podcast.
the guest.
All right.
We've told you this before. Why do you always act like you're shy? This is like the 5th time we told you that Zach had a podcast, and every time you go, Zach has a podcast.
Don't
Yeah,
ruin
literally.
the bit, SP3. Don't ruin the bit. I know.
Okay.
I know. That's why I wanted to keep it going.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but how much longer do we have of this damn show? So we've got a while before we have the reunion. So they filmed the reunion, as we know. They've already filmed it. They will probably cut out, all of the good parts of it, as they always do. Laurel got into it with almost everyone.
Oh, that's not surprising at all.
Her and Emily went at each other. Emily, who's all, I'm calm with my scarf and everything now. Like, her and Emily, her and Ryan, her and Cara, her and Darrell. Like, everybody was going in on Laurel. I'm like, I love it. I can't wait.
None of that's surprising. None of that is
No.
surprising. All right. We did get a super chat from I Make Beats, who said, "Hello, SP3. True Hill Heat, best in the game." Agreed. Also said it's weird seeing Jeremy and SP3 in the same place. Literally every Tuesday on this channel.
This must be his first time watching,
Yeah.
but welcome. Every Tuesday morning, join us where we talk about NBA and trash reality.
Yeah, no wrestling on here. I know. I assume that's where mainly know SP3 and myself from, but no wrestling on this channel. All right. Cher Delaware.
Oh man, I got to do a quick 90 seconds.
Oh,
90 days because we're on the other way tell all. Tell all.
Listen.
When the tell alls come, I got to talk about it.
I watch Sister Wives.
My missus watches that.
That's the
she
only thing I
watches
watch
that
on
and
the
1,000 pound.
I always see the commercials for those 1,000-pound sisters or whatever, but the only thing I watch on there is Sister Wives. But I see the commercials all the time for the 90 days, and I'm always like, this is intriguing. I'm not going to watch it though because I need Jeremy or I need SP3 to summarize it for me every time. It's much better when I don't actually know, and I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? Like
a lot of things. A lot of things. A lot of the things. So yeah, 90 Day the other way. They got the tell-all going on right now. Some of the best stories or talking points was we have one couple who is an American man with I believe she is. I don't want to say. I think she's Chinese or Japanese. Not sure. I think
Asian.
Japanese.
She's an Asian woman.
She's Asian. She's an Asian woman, and she was trying to bring him over there. They got married and stuff like that, but he's not. He can't financially work, over there. So she's kind of the breadwinner. She lives in a mansion and whatnot. So on the tell-all, they basically asked him, "How's your marriage going?" And the man says, "Oh, I would think we're at a 6." And she was like, "Out of 10, where do you think the marriage go?" And the missus, her name is Lily. She said a 3 out of 10. Because their main issue is that they haven't been having sex since he came over. And in the 3 years they've been together, they've had sex 4 or 5 times. That's what she said.
Damn.
And then they had her daughter on, and they asked the daughter, "What's your issue with him?" She was like, he doesn't make love to my mother. Why won't you fuck my mother? I talk so much. Like, she just sounded so angry. Oh my god.
How old is this girl?
She's like 19, 20, but she had the heavy accent. She's like, "Why you don't fuck my mom?" Oh my god, it was so great. I almost cried tears. Oh my god, it was awesome.
I hate it.
Then there's another guy, Sarper, and he's with Shekinah, and Sarper has apparently and brags about the fact that he slept with 2,500 women in his lifetime. Yes. And he had
count before that point. Like, there's no way that's accurate.
No,
I got a tally. He's got a tally list. Just
he
knows this.
No,
you know how he tallied it? He used to have alcohol bottles in his apartment for every woman that he slept with. Yes.
Okay, but listen.
Even when he invited his woman to stay with him.
Okay, say I believe this. So you're going to count them all to see how many there are? Buddy, at 343, you lost count and you got to start over. There is no way that they are counting all the way to 2,500 to know how many people that he slept with. Like, I can't count to 40 when my kids are around trying to do something without having to recount it 73 times. Like, there is no way.
2,500. So he basically
that one chick needs to get with him. Isn't that a different guy?
Yeah,
the one that's not getting any. She needs to get with him.
Just like you need to treat her like a woman. That's what you try to give advice to the man.
Why you not fuck my mother?
Like, go with them real quickly before
he will go.
Yeah. Real quickly, because I make beats says gotta go. Don't hate on me for not being online 24/7. Then he said, just kidding, much love. Oh yeah, I'm not hating. It is all love. Just joking around. But yes, we are here every Tuesday. If you enjoy SP3's content, if you enjoy my content, we do this show every Tuesday with each other.
It's a lot of absurdity. So.
Yeah.
Like, why you don't fuck my mother?
And we do appreciate the super chat. So
yes.
Much love to you. I make beats. Oh my gosh, that is the most absurd show. The absolute most absurd show.
I don't know how they find these people, man. How do they do it? Every single time they find like the weirdest, like people. Oh my god, it doesn't make any sense. You've got to
be a little like, and I say this in the nicest way possible, and I know that usually sets up of like, oh, you're about to say something really dickish. I say this in the nicest way possible. You gotta be like a little just off to like find love in another country and go through that whole like process, because that process, as anybody who's watched this show can tell you, is miserable and just like awful. And like you've got, and again, this is not a bad thing of like, hey, if you find your person and you can make it work and you find love, like great. But to go through that whole process is just such an undertaking that like, yeah, you've gotta be a little just off with that. And I don't think off is the best word to use in this, by the way.
That was the first word that came to my mind too. Like, it's just a little different. Like that. I mean, and we've said the same thing about people that go on like Love is Blind. I mean, it's not as an intensive of a thing, but you're living in this thing with a bunch of people you don't know and expecting to get married at the end of a few weeks. Like,
I think anyone that goes on reality television is a little off. No offense.
Yeah.
They're highly entertaining, but I think
agree.
they're built different. When it comes to
I think that they're all a little off, especially the ones that go to find like a life partner though. Yeah. Like that's, and I think I don't feel that way as much about like the stupid MTV shows that are like a bunch of 21-year-olds just being drunk on the beach. Like, am I going to find the love of my life? Because I don't think that any of them actually go in there thinking they're going to find the love of their life. Like, they're just like, I'm going to be on MTV and I'm going to get a check and get, to go on a beach and drink for free and everything. Like, but these people are actually trying to find, and I mean, like you said, if you find it, more power to you. The odds are you're not going to, though. Like, the odds are not in your favor here.
So when you couple like reality television and then like going through just the whole process of trying to marry somebody from another country, like it's a big undertaking to do all of that. So it does not shock me that you find some of the craziest people in the world when it comes to this. Like, it does not shock me at all.
Yep.
But that's the only like really kind of notable ones from there. I'll have more stuff because we have a part 2 coming out this next week. So I'll talk more about it. Any notable stuff from this tell-all.
There you go. All right.
Oh,
Cher
by
Delaware.
the way, talking about Lauren, our favorite person who has gonorrhea of the penis. Apparently,
Oh
he has asked Faith's mother to marry him on the show. Yes, he said I know it might be difficult for me to marry you, but how about I marry your mother? In the same smile that he told her he has gonorrhea of the penis.
no! Listen, I don't understand these people because, like, not only am I not offering up my mother to marry you, I'm also not interested in my mother's sex life and wanting to know if her.
To be fair to Faith, she did not ask him. She did not put her mother up. That was his suggestion.
Well, I mean, I
Cher
can't.
Delaware. Anything to plug?
I don't think so.
SP3.
Check out the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. I will be live with Romeo at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with Rated Raw Review, reviewing last night's Monday Night Raw, aka can Triple H book a go home show properly? The answer is no. But yes, check us out as we talk about Monday Night Raw today.
Guys, we appreciate everyone hanging out in the chat. Sorry, Ryan, that we spent the first 15 minutes burying your basketball team. Maybe your basketball team should be better. Look at that, Sydney Cries. Is that a pen or a sticker?
It's a sticker.
Oh, nice.
Second best Sydney on this channel.
I now also have a Sidney Crosby air freshener in my car. So you get in, and I hit a bump today going over the railroad tracks, and it was like flying. My oldest was like, poor Sid. Like, he's like hitting the windshield. So.
We'll be back next week, everybody. Everyone take care. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.